Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to another episode of Mcubed Show for all things sports betting. As always, I'm your host, Schmook. Now, so for this week, we have week 8 of the football season. Already crazy, we're halfway through. We had a crazy week 7, honestly, some crazy upsets, I would say. The Chiefs, they're not looking that good. They lose to the Titans. Titans are looking like a pretty elite team. The Bengals might actually be pretty elite too. They took on the Ravens in Baltimore. Crazy. But yeah, let's just go right into it. You know, I'd like to keep track of how many games I got right or wrong, but it's a little hard to keep track. I feel bad for Sam, so we're just not going to worry about that. You guys will know. You guys will know if you're hitting or not. But yeah, let's just get right into it. So for Thursday Night Football, we have the Packers in Arizona taking on the Cardinals. Pretty crazy. The Cardinals should win this game. I'm just going to put it out there. They should cover as well. Yeah, that's really it. Because, you know, the Packers had a few people on the IR, which isn't great. You know, Devontae Adams, Allen Lazard, so they won't really have a good wide receiver core. Cardinals have a good defense, even though they're probably losing J.J. Watt for the season. Hate to see. But yeah, I'm just going to pick the Cardinals. But let's go on to Sunday. So Sunday, we have the Panthers going to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. This is a tank bowl, man. Tank bowl for sure. I mean, Matt Rule wants to try to hold on to Sam Darnold, wants to get what they had in him earlier in the season, but dude, he has not been looking good at all. He literally got benched last week. The Giants beat them, so that was also another game I was like, whoa, okay. But Daniel Jones made an insane catch in that game also. But I'm just going to pick the Falcons. I think they should cover. Matt Ryan looks okay. If Calvin Ridley plays, that's great. Kyle Pitts is looking like that first round pick that we were all expecting out of him. And that defense is honestly not that bad. So they should be able to get after Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's been making mistakes. Like, the Panthers should be a much better team, but let's say if they got Deshaun Watson, they're probably a Super Bowl team. But who knows? I mean, again, after last week, I'm just like, you just don't know anymore. I legit have no idea how to predict these games anymore. But again, I'm just going to pick the Falcons. I believe that the Falcons should win. They beat Miami last week, and Tua isn't looking that bad. So let's just go. We'll just go with the Falcons and keep it at that. All right, so next up, we have the Titans going to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. Oof. Honestly, the Colts have not been looking bad. They have not. Carson Wentz is kind of looking good, and it's at home for them. But the Titans, they're on a roll right now, man. Like, it's crazy to think that in the beginning of October, they lost to the Jets. They've had a crazy October. They lose to the Jets, right? And then they go and beat the Bills, who everyone was saying was the best team in the league, including myself. And then they go and beat the Chiefs. And the Chiefs have not been looking great, but they're still the Chiefs, right? I'm just going to pick the Titans because they're the hot hand right now. I don't know if I'd pick them to cover. I don't know what that line is, but if it's anything over 6, I don't know. If the line is 3, you easily take that. But if not, I don't know. I really don't, because the Colts have been able to put up points. That offense is kind of doing some work. The defense is coming. It's coming around. But the Titans, like, Derrick Henry's impossible to stop. Tannehill slinging the ball. The Julio and A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown's literally had food poisoning, was still playing his ass off. But yeah, we'll just pick the Titans and go on to the next matchup. All right, next up we have the Miami Dolphins going to Buffalo to take on the Bills. I mean, I shouldn't even think about it. I'm going to pick the Bills for this game, but, you know, any given Sunday, you know, the Dolphins are in desperate need of another win. Tua's been playing quite well. The Bills have been kind of underperforming, but they had a pretty good, they were on bye last week. But again, their last game was a loss to the Titans, so who knows? I would, no matter what, I'm going to pick the Bills here. So we'll just leave it at that, but don't sleep on the Dolphins, I would say, because again, this could be another game that ends up just destroying a lot of parlays, you know. All right, so next up we have the Bengals going to New York to take on the Jets. I'm just going to be quick and easy about this. The Bengals have been doing some work. They just beat the Ravens. The Jets literally had to trade for Joe Flacco because Zach Wilson's hurt. And then that Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase relationship, that connection is unreal. Jamar Chase is killing it. Should be a lock for Offensive Rookie of the Year. And then Joe Mixon, he's been solid. So, and that defense hasn't been that bad either, and that O-line's protecting Joey. So, got to pick the Bengals here, no question. All right, so this is kind of interesting because I don't think Baker's going to play this week. He might, but again, we have the Steelers going to Cleveland to take on the Brownies. I don't know. I would probably pick the Steelers if Baker doesn't play, but Case can manage the ball well. It's also dependent on if Nick Chubb's back or not. I don't think Kareem Hunt will be back. Again, if in the case of Baker, Kareem Hunt, and Nick Chubb being out, and even Jarvis Landry, and I think Odell should be fine, I'm picking the Steelers. But even if just one of those guys plays, I'm picking the Browns, and it's hard to tell right now. But I'm just going to pick the Steelers We're just going to go at it and say that, all right? All right, next up we have the Eagles going to Detroit to take on the Lions. Now, the Lions, they were competitive, honestly, against the Rams, not going to lie. It got to a point where they were out of the game. But for a good chunk of that game, they were winning, right? And we're not winning. Well, yeah, they were winning for at least half the game. But, Dan Campbell's had a lot of trick plays last week. I like seeing it. So they're like, screw it, whatever. Do whatever it takes to take on one of the best teams in the league and try to win. And I like that mentality from a coach. And I feel like the Eagles just aren't it. Jalen Hurts, like he's been fine. That defense is just not fantastic. Honestly, screw it. Since they're at home, I'm gonna pick the Lions. The Eagles are probably gonna win this game, and I'm probably giving you some bad advice. But honestly, like they gotta win a game. Like there's no way the Lions go 0-17. Because I think they've been competent, they've been able to do some work. They should be able to win. They should be able to win this game because the Eagles are like they're not like an unbeatable team, But yeah, we're just gonna go with the Lions, but again, just no matter what, I would say at least pick the Lions to cover unless that spread's literally like 2, or But if it's like somehow like a 6-point spread, oh man, easy for the Lions. All right, next up, we have a slaughter. We're going to have the Rams go to the Texans. I'm not going to go deep into it. Matthew Stafford's a man. He's going to go and take on the Texans and whoop them. All right, Cooper Kupp's probably going to go crazy. Probably will have 200 yards receiving. But yeah, that's all I got to say. All right, next up, we kind of have a shit game, in my opinion. We have the 49ers going to Chicago to take on the Bears. We have 2 rookie quarterbacks most likely going up against each other. Jimmy Garoppolo played last week, played pretty well for the 49ers, but Trey Lance, I feel like if he keeps practicing, they're probably going to let him play the game, because why not? It's going to be Trey Lance versus Justin Fields. Will be a matchup we're probably going to love in a year or two once they actually start to get a good footing for the NFL. I don't know who to pick here. As of right now, like again, if Jimmy G plays, I'd probably more likely take the 49ers, honestly. Justin Fields hasn't necessarily been bad, but he had a bad week. I believe it was last week. He had like 5 turnovers, but you should expect a bounce back. But the Bears are kind of in a mode of they don't know what they're doing. I feel like Khalil Mack is on his way out. Allen Robinson's probably gone by the trade deadline. So they're probably just about to go full-on rebuild because they don't even have picks, like first-round picks. They're going to want to try to get something because they literally traded around away their next 2 first-round picks, I believe, because of Justin Fields and the one previously to get Justin Fields. But I'm going to pick the 49ers here. Even if Trey Lance plays, I think they have a good amount of playmakers. Deebo Samuel's good, and I know he's been limited in practice, but he's going to play. And that defense is still pretty solid. So we're just going to go with the 49ers, taking on the Bears at home. All right, next up, we have the Patriots taking on the Chargers in LA. I don't know, Patriots have actually looked pretty solid. They actually whooped on the Jets, which I thought was nuts. Mac Jones is looking pretty good. If Jamar Chase didn't exist, Mac Jones is probably your rookie of the year, offensive. But the Chargers, they had a bye week. They had an extra week of practice to be able to decide, all right, we're going to take on the Patriots. We're at home. Herbert's been the man this year. And they're like, we can't let the Chiefs eventually catch up. So this is a must-win game. Like, even though they're winning that division and, like, the Raiders are looking okay, the Broncos have fallen apart, and so have the Chiefs. But the Chiefs, they can easily have a crazy second half of the year. Like that, especially if they bring in, like, Allen Robinson to help with that receiver core. It could get crazy. But I'm just going to say you got to go Chargers here. I think it's a must-win game if they want to make playoffs or even just win that division. All right, next up we have the Jaguars taking on the Seattle Seahawks. I don't know. Like, the Seahawks just don't look like a good team. Like, that Monday Night Football game sucked. The Saints won, as I said they would, because Geno Smith isn't it. It sucks. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. I feel like they should, if for some reason Russ is out longer than expected, they should just bring in Cam, because I feel like Cam would fit that scheme quite well. Well, I'm sorry. If you have Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, you should be doing way more than just 1 touchdown literally off the first play of the game last week. So I'm actually going to take the Jags here, even though they're pretty banged up, but Trevor Lawrence is starting to look pretty solid, and Marvin Jones is going to be playing. Laviska Shenault's pretty good. Dan Arnold's been solid. It's up to that defense, but they should be able to keep the Seahawks in check. All right, so next up we have the Bucs taking on the Saints. Now the Saints have a crazy good defense, but the Bucs are looking like the best offense in the league. Like, Brady's still the GOAT, like Antonio Brown's been a monster over there. I'm curious if Gronk is coming back or not yet. I don't think so. But the Saints, like, again, Jameis isn't bad, but it's ultimately they don't have a receiving core until Michael Thomas comes back. If Michael Thomas comes back this week, I don't know what his timetable is to come back. And maybe I would pick the Saints. But they did just make a trade for Mark Ingram, I should say, which is pretty nuts. Now we're going to have that Alvin Kamara, Mark Ingram duo once again. Could be explosive. Who knows? But again, I'm just going to go with the Super Bowl champs. Like, it's the GOAT. Even though Champagne has a good defense, like, Brady has all the wide receivers in the world. All right, next up we have the football team taking on the Denver Broncos in Denver. Jerry Jeudy should be back, so there could be a little bit more of an explosive offense with Denver now. I feel like they've been missing Jerry Jeudy quite a bit. That defense has been lackluster. And the football team's honestly just not that good offensively or even defensively. But they have a chance to do some pretty decent work. I will say they win. The football team does. But it's hard because Denver is a hard place to play in. And they're going to be at home. And Jerry Jeudy will be back. This isn't really a game I would bet on because I don't think either teams are looking that good right now. But I love Taylor Heineke's energy. Terry McLaurin's is a beast. So I'm just going to pick the football team, but I could be wrong here. All right, to me, the game of the week, Sunday Night Football, the Halloween game. We have the Cowboys, America's team. They are the boys. They're not the Cowgirls no more. They've been looking unreal. And the Minnesota Vikings. Both teams were on bye last week, so they both have had extra time to prepare for this game in prime time, the game of the week. It's in Minnesota, okay? So everyone's going to be picking the Cowboys. I guarantee you, right before the game starts, when everyone's doing their picks, I guarantee you, if there's like 6 people picking the games, I bet like 4 or 5 are going to be picking the Cowboys. But don't sleep on the Vikings, all right? I believe this is the game where they're like, listen, we are going to be in playoffs. We are going to be a team that you should not doubt. And to be fair, they've been in almost every game this year but the Browns game. And they could easily be 5-1. They could easily like have a worse record as well. They're a weird team. I just don't think they're that disciplined, I guess is the word I want to say. But I'm just going with the boys. I believe in the boys this week. Not the Cowboys, my boys, the Vikings. The Cowboys, like, I feel like there could be at least 1 or 2 turnovers on each side because I think both sides have good defenses and they both have insane offenses as well. If I'm going to pick which side has the better offense, I'm honestly picking the Vikings because I think Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, and Dalvin Cook with Kirk Cousins is honestly more explosive than me. I might get some hate, but I don't think Zeke's as good as he used to be. Same with Amari Cooper. He's still solid, but CeeDee Lamb is elite. I'm not going to say anything against him, and Dak is great. Dak is fantastic. Without Dak, that offense sucks. We saw that last year. But yeah, I just think the Vikings, unless there's an injury to one of these quarterbacks, which I hope not. I hope I didn't just speak that into his existence. Like, I would hate if Kirk goes down. But I think the Vikings should win this game. All right, on to Monday Night Football. So Monday Night Football, kind of a crap game. You have the Giants taking on the Chiefs. Could be an interesting game. But this has to be a bounce-back win for the Chiefs. There's no way they'd lose this game. The Giants might have Saquon back, though. They might have Kenny Golladay back as well. So it could be a fun game to watch because Daniel Jones honestly could put up some work against the Chiefs. Same with Saquon Barkley if he plays. But the Chiefs have to win this game. There's no way. Like, Pat Mahomes is not looking like Pat Mahomes. The dude has like a turnover in every game. But I feel like this is the game where Pat Mahomes becomes his true self again, and we will see the guy who won MVP his first year really starting. But yeah, so those are my picks for the week, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed. I hope I'm right, but this is a week I'm not too confident on. I feel like y'all can tell. There's certain weeks where I'm like, okay, yeah, we're gonna win some money. But this week I'm like, I don't know. It's kind of the same way with last week, where I'm like, there's a lot of teams that can go either way. But for the most part, I would say, for the most part, there are some good matchups that should go in the favor of the favorite easily. So for the money line, but if you want the upset pick, go with the Vikings. Again, they're at home. They have a great home crowd. They're still an explosive team on offense and defense. The only thing that sucks is that they don't have their corner room. Kind of sucks now because without Patrick Peterson. So that could be a problem unless guys really step up like Cam Dantzler and Bashaud Breeland. But yeah, that's going to be it though, guys. Like and subscribe. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what your guys' lock of the week is down in the comments. All right, I'll catch y'all real soon.